What's up, guys? This is Hawaii Knife and Gear. I've actually been trying to make this video for a couple of days now, but since our governor out here is a jackass and continues to keep the state locked down, here I am posting a tabletop video. But I mean, at the very least, I can give you guys some artwork painted by my kids, since I have no scenery for you. But for Governor Donkey, I wish you nothing less than the worst case of hemorrhoids the world has ever seen, because that's what you're doing to our state out here. But aside from that, regardless of how bad 2020 has been, nothing can kill my joy tonight, because I have got the most epic mail call this past week, and I wanted to share it with you guys, tabletop or not. So before I get into TwoSun stuff, though, I wanted to make a big shout out to BJ over at Hilltop Knives and Gear. We actually did a trade last week, and he sent me this, which I'm not a flashlight person per se. I've never really caught that addiction, but this is the Olight Baton Pro, and he had this posted. We worked out a trade, and it came in the mail. I'm totally impressed with how bright this thing is, especially at night. 2,000 lumens, just crazy bright flashlight. Turbo mode is way more than I thought was even possible for a flashlight this size, so really happy with this guy. Thank you, really appreciate that. And then he also sent along this guy for my son, Dakota. This is the Spyderco Chicago. And this guy is in BD1N steel, which I'm not real familiar with, but I will let him put it to the test and see how well it holds an edge. So thanks again, really super nice guy. And if you guys aren't subscribed over at Hilltop Knives and Gear, go and do that. You won't regret it. So let's get into some of this new TwoSun stuff that I've got, though. Fair warning, it's going to be kind of a long video. I have a lot of different stuff. And yeah, I promise, though, if you make it all the way to the end, it will be worth it. And I have something that has never been seen before on YouTube to show you here. So I'll start out small, though. Start with some of the little gear items that I've gotten from TwoSun. First one is this titanium whistle. And I had looked at this one for a while and finally won the auction on one. I think I paid maybe 15 bucks for this guy. I'm not actually going to blow the whistle. It's pretty late here, so don't want to wake everybody up, but the back of it unscrews and has a refillable lighter in the back, or you can pop this out and just use it as a capsule, whatever, on your keychain. But I thought it was pretty cool. Always nice to get new little titanium stuffs. And then I also got this guy, which I've been looking at this one for a while. This is their bolt action pen, which pretty nice. It's a little bit smaller than I was thinking it was going to be, but it's comfortable. It's got a nice weight to it, writes really well, and it's very fidget friendly. So there's this guy. And yeah, so getting into some of the different knives that I've gotten. First ones I wanted to show you are these guys. And this is going to be the TS72, designed by Rattlesnake. And I actually made the mistake the other day of calling this a Swiss Army knife, and my kid corrected me. He said, "No, Dad, that's a multifunction knife. Only Victorinox and Wenger can be called Swiss Army knives." So I had to laugh. I said, "You're right, my mistake." But they're pretty nice overall. I mean, they're very well built. It's definitely TwoSun's level of quality as compared to a actual Swiss Army knife, which I did bring one out for comparison's sake. They've got some noticeable differences. I mean, the snap on them, walk and talk or whatever, is definitely a little bit different. It makes a much quieter sound. It's got a nice strong spring to it, but Doesn't have that loud metal on metal sound when it snaps shut, which is kind of nice actually. And then comes with a pair of scissors, which are pretty sharp. I've tried these out, they cut really well. And then also a saw blade, which this is the one area that I thought was lacking a little bit. It's definitely nowhere near as sharp as a Victorinox as far as the saw is concerned. And then also has the sewing eye, which I do actually use these. Kind of nice to have a poking and digging type tool, so nice that they put that on there. And I decided to get both versions of it. This is the Jade Digicam with the Tanto also. And both of these guys are in 14C28N. So pretty nice overall. I mean, I think they're going for maybe 30 bucks, which is a little pricey for a Swiss Army knife, but again, I just got it to check it out. I'm glad that I did. These will probably go to the boys, but I'll show you the difference between this and the Victorinox, especially the weight, because they're kind of heavy. This is a Huntsman, which was the closest one I could find to this as far as tools are concerned. This has the scissors and the saw, but then, like all the 91 millimeters, have bottle opener and can opener, and also the small blade. You get corkscrew and the hook on the back, so there's quite a few more tools on this. This one is 3.41 ounces compared to the TwoSun at 5.24 ounces. So it's definitely not a lightweight multifunction knife, but still pretty nice overall, decent quality, and yeah, so that's those guys. And next knife I wanted to show you, this is one that I've actually showed on the channel before. This is the TS72 by Jelly Jerry. This is actually the one that I had before. This one is in S90V, but I also just got the Sandvik version in 14C28N. And I was actually kind of bummed because I won the auction for an S90V, but I guess they had ran out of them, so they sent me this one when they started putting this one out. No big deal. I mean, I got a decent price on it anyway. It's definitely worth what I paid for it, but just be aware that they are only putting out the Sandvik ones right now. Hopefully they bring back the S90V, but aside for a few little scratches on the blade, it's the same knife overall. Still super comfortable. And I realize that there's people that might watch this channel and listen to what I say and use that to make purchasing decisions. This is one that I absolutely recommend to anybody. It's a great knife. This is honestly one of my favorite new TwoSuns, and yeah, highly recommend this. So TS72. And also got this guy, and this one is the TS249. Very impressed with this one. I haven't actually seen too much about this one. I guess it's probably one of their kind of overlooked knives. They just put out so many designs all at once, it seems like, that I think this one just really didn't get any attention, and I'm not even sure if I've ever seen another video on this one, but it's a great little knife. It's perfect in hand. I mean, it just feels great. It's got a nice snappy action to it. Nice flat grind all the way up. Flipper tab is nice dimension. A little bit of jimping up there, but it's not sharp. It just feels really good all the way around. Nice backspacer to it. Got a lanyard hole. Really nice clip on it. So I was very impressed with this overall. Even though it's a little bit smaller than I normally like in a knife, it's very well done. So again, it's the TS249 by Wong Design. This one is also in 14C28N, and I'll show you the weight on this guy if you're not familiar. This one comes in at 3.56 ounces, so a nice little EDC sized knife. For being a smaller knife, was definitely impressed. I mean, it just, I don't even know if you can fail this one. You can, but it's got a nice snap to it, so really happy with this one all the way around. And then the last of the new ones that came in is going to be this guy. This is the TS129. And I know a lot of other people have showed this on their channel recently. I was kind of just curious more than anything. I knew it really wasn't my style. I'm not big on thumb flip deployment at all. I really prefer a regular flipper in the back. It just feels more natural to me. But the thumb flip and the hold deployment really both work well on this knife. I see why so many people like this. It's very fidget friendly. I'm not going to go too much into this because I'm sure you've seen it on other people's channels. This is the M390 version, but I just wanted to get it, see what it was like, and even though it's not my style, it's really well done. This one's actually going to turn right around and go back out to my buddy in California, who, without him, this channel wouldn't be really that possible right now because TwoSun has stopped shipping to Hawaii, so he's been kind enough to be mailing all my stuff from California, so this one's going back to him. But really nice all the way around, just not my style. But those are some of the new TwoSuns. I'm actually going to clear these out of the way before I get into the next ones here, so bear with me 1 second. Alright, so if you've been unfortunate enough to scroll all the way back through to the beginning of my channel, don't do it, by the way. The video is pretty terrible, but the first knife I ever posted on YouTube was this guy here, which is the Ganzo F720. And this is really the knife that kind of got me into knives. Now, I always carried a knife, always had a knife, but this is the one that really changed my mind, and especially on Chinese knives, and changed my opinion of them from that, cheap gas station feel to realizing that for 20 bucks you could get a solid quality type knife. So this was the first video I ever put out, but if you look, the second video I ever made was this guy here. And when I did that one, nobody else had ever talked about this one on YouTube, and I was kind of surprised because when I first got this is the TS72, I was amazed at how much I liked it. So the second video I showed this one, and even in that video I mentioned it, that I wish that they would do the different blade steel and also put this one out in M390, which I asked them back then and they said no. But I got a couple of these when they were still making them, and then they discontinued it. When they did, I searched eBay and I tried to scoop up every one that I could find because I didn't think it was coming back again. So, got this one. Got this one. Actually got a couple others, but some of them have actually made it back out of my collection to a couple good friends. So when they finally decided to start making it again, I think they were probably just tired of hearing from me, but I messaged them quite a few times asking if they would ever bring it back, and the last message I finally got from them that said yes, we'll put it out, man, I got really excited, and they did. They finally listed it again, and they put it back out in D2. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw what happened with the pricing, but they went just sky high. Over $300 for a knife that, 2 years prior was selling for like 40 or 50 bucks. So I can only imagine what they were thinking over there. But yeah, so they released, a couple dozen of them maybe on eBay, and all of them sold pretty high, over 150 bucks for all of them. So when I finally messaged them again and said, hey, are you guys going to do this one in M390? they said, yeah, stay tuned, we will put it out in M390. So without further ado, for the first time ever on YouTube, again, the TS72, this time in M390. So, absolutely stoked. I mean, if I stopped buying knives right now, I'd probably still be happy. This is the one that I've always been waiting for, and I'm glad they finally did it. So there are a couple differences. I actually asked them if the blades were going to be interchangeable, and they said no. They did make some changes on the handle. So I'll kind of show them side by side here. You can see they changed the milling pattern just a little bit. This one's a little bit more random, and this one goes straight down. They also put out the one with the circular pattern, so you can get round or square. That one's kind of got that Doppler look to it, which in the D2, the only one with the round holes that you could get had the terrible steel clip on the back, but they did do the M390 in the circle pattern also. But besides that, the other changes that you can see, they did a hollow grind back here on the blade instead of the flat grind, and then they brought the tip down a little bit farther, and also the chamfer up top is quite a bit bigger than the other one. But all in all, I mean, the handle is still the same size and dimensions. It still feels the same in hand. I don't think there's any difference on the backside at all. Maybe widen this chamfer a little bit, possibly. But yeah, man, it's definitely the one that I've always waited for, and I'm glad they finally listened to me. Full transparency, they actually did send me the first one that they made, the first M390 one that came out. So I did also win a second one in auction, so I'm still waiting for that one to come in, but I wanted to have two because I do plan to carry this. I want to see how the M390 actually performs, because in all honesty, TwoSun's D2 steel is the only one that I've ever used long enough and hard enough to find out how it actually holds an edge. This one I beat to death, actually, but you know, I carry this one quite regularly, sharpen it regularly, so I know how their D2 performs. I'm not even sure about their Sandvik because I've never carried one of those for long enough to know, but so it'll be nice to actually get some real world comparison on their M390 and see how this one does. But yeah, I'm just totally stoked. So that's what I wanted to show you guys tonight, but I also wanted to say thank you, because last week I finally broke the 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. So I'm going to do a giveaway coming up. I've got some really nice pieces of koa that I've been waiting to do something with. Actually, this guy is probably the one I'm most excited about. This block is just incredible, so figure out something to do with these guys, but definitely going to do a giveaway. I'm thinking I'm going to do one here on the channel and then one over on Patreon. You guys are on Patreon, thanks again. I really appreciate it. You guys got much better odds over there right now, so stay tuned for that. But there's a few different TwoSun knives that I've been considering doing in koa. This is one. Actually, still need to finish this one completely, but this is a possibility. This one I've also been thinking would look really nice in koa. Really like this one a lot, actually, the TS72, but handle's kind of fat on this guy, so I'm thinking I could make some koa for it and do what I want to as far as the comfort of it, but this is a possibility. TS237, definitely been thinking about doing this one. Could always do another one of these. Or possibly this one. this is definitely a potential that I've been thinking about doing for a while, so stay tuned. I always like to, give the winner some options. I know a lot of you guys that watch this channel are TwoSun fans and probably have some already, so I want to make sure if you win, it's a knife that you don't already have, so I'll see what I can do about that. But also going to throw in some other stuff for sure. I'm going to do a little taste of Hawaii, so winner will also get some other Hawaiian stuff, some Kona coffee, macadamia nuts, and some lihing moi. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Will be the next video. But again, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Give you one last look at this guy here before we go. And that's my video for tonight. So thanks for watching. See you at the next video.